This video. In this video, we will review a little bit on unit circle, and we'll also learn how to find the sine value, cosine value, tan value of a negative angle using the unit circle. Okay. So by now, I hope we are all very familiar with the unit circle. So let's say this is my unit circle, and let me do that better. Sorry. Okay. Now, my unit circle, we have 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, and then I have 90 degrees, right? So this is only my first quadrant, and we talk about the x and y coordinates for these points, where the x coordinate is going to be cosine of the angle, and the y coordinate is sine of the angle, right? So this will be cosine 30, sine 30, which is going to be equal to root 3 over 2 and half. And then cosine 45, sine 45, that gives me root 2 over 2 and root 2 over 2. I hope by now we all remember the cosine values and the sine values of the special angles, the 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees. I missed one here. Since the unit circle has a radius of 1 unit, that would be 1, 0. Right? And this is 0 degrees. So for 60 degrees, the cosine is going to be half, and the sine is going to be root 3 over 2. And finally, for 90 degrees, the x coordinate, or cosine 90 degrees, gives us 0, and sine 90 degrees, the y coordinate, gives us 1. Okay, so this is nothing new. And previously, we also learned how to reflect it. So let's say today I want to find, so this angle, that would be 90 degrees plus 30, that would give us 120, right? So 120. And then I'll have 135, and then I would have 150, and then I'm going to have 180. Okay, now, and then previously we learned how to use reflections. So I can use, if I don't find the cosine and sine value of 120 degrees, I can use my 60 degrees to help me out, because they would share the y coordinate, and the x coordinate would be just a negative, right? So this would be negative half and positive root 3 over 2. And for the 60 degree, for the 135 degrees, I can use my 45 degrees to help me out. So that would be the same amount. Instead of going positive root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2, I'm gonna go negative root 2 over 2 for the x. So this would be negative root 2 over 2, and my y is gonna be the same. For my 150, I'm going to use my 30 degrees. That would be negative root 3 over 2, and then half, and then finally, my 180 degrees would be negative 1 and 0. Okay, so again, we're just reviewing for now, and we kind of carry out the reflections using other angles to help us to get the coordinates for the complete unit circle. Right now. So we know that. So let's, for now, I'm going to pause the video, and I'm going to complete the entire unit circle. So please have a copy of your unit circle, and I will see you guys in a bit, okay? Okay, welcome back. So as you can see, I have completed the entire unit circle, and please have a copy of your unit circle, and let's proceed. Now, okay, so we know how to use how to reflect the coordinates just from my quadrant 1 to help me to get the x and y coordinates for the other three quadrants. But now I want to talk a little bit on some special properties that hopefully you guys will remember, but it will be easier to remember them if you understand it. So the three properties that I would like to talk about would be sine theta is equal to sine of 180 minus theta. In other words, the theta over here, the sine value of that angle is going to be equal to the sine angle of the supplementary angle. The supplementary angle, okay? And we already talked about this in the previous videos. So I will not spend more time on that. Now, the next one, cosine theta is equal to, cosine theta is equal to cosine of negative theta, okay? And the last one would be tangent theta is equal to tangent of the theta plus 180. So we are talking about degrees here, okay? Now, let's take a look at some examples. I'm going to change the color so that we can see the difference. So let's say, for example, if I have sine of, say, sine of 45 degrees, right? So if I take 180 minus 45, I will get 135. So is this equal to sine of 135? So let's take a look. Sine 45, we're looking at this value here, okay? And sine of 135 is over here, and sine of 135 it's over there. So there you go. It is true. Both sine 45 is equal to root 2 over 2, and sine of 135 is also equal to root 2 over 2, right? So this is true. We just verify that, all right? Now, for cosine theta, so let's say I go with cosine of 30 degrees. Because cosine of 30 degrees is over here, which is root 3 over 2. Cosine of 30 degrees is root 3 over 2. And is this equal to cosine of negative 30 degrees? Okay, so we have never talked about negative angles. All right, all this time, the angles that we've had, they're all positive angles. So what's negative 30 degrees? Think about it. Think about it. Take a good guess. Okay. So today I start from here. This is my 0 degrees. And I'm gonna go that much, and I'm gonna call that, and this angle is gonna be 30 degrees. So by doing this, I have a positive 30 degrees. Right? If going in this direction, going in the counterclockwise direction, right? Counterclockwise, C-O-U-N-T-E-R, counterclockwise direction, and we get a positive angle. In fact, if I do the same thing for 45, I get a positive 45. If I rotate from the 0 degrees and in the counterclockwise directions, I will always get a positive angle. For negative angle, what do you think? What do you think? It will be there. Does that make sense? We'll be going clockwise. We'll be going clockwise for 30 degrees. Right, going clockwise for 30 degrees. Okay, so this angle here, this is my negative 30 degrees. So let's say if they want us to say negative 90 degrees, I will have to start from here and then go all the way there. And this is my negative 90 degrees. So my negative 90 degrees is actually the same thing at the same place as my 270. Get that? So negative 90 stops here. Positive 270 stop at the same place. So negative 90 degrees is pretty much the same as positive 270 degrees. I hope that makes sense. It is just a matter of directions, okay? Which side you are turning, all right? Cool. Now that we know how to get the negative angles, let's see what's cosine of negative 30. So cosine of negative 30 is here. And you see that isn't that the same thing? Cosine of negative 30 is actually the same thing is the same as saying cosine of 330. Make sense? Because we're going down this much, if I go one full circle, that gives me 360. So if I go negative 30, that will end up at 330. So cosine of negative 30 is the same thing as saying cosine of 330, and the value would be root 3 over 2. Right? This is root 3 over 2. And what's cosine 30? Cosine 30, we already talked about it. Cosine 30 is root 3 over 2 as well. This is root 3 over 2. And on the right hand side, cosine of negative 30, which is the same thing as cosine of 330, and that is also, which is the x coordinate, so that would also be root 3 over 2. So we just verified the second property as well. Okay? Now, the last one, tangent of theta is equal to tangent of theta plus 180. So let's take a look at that. When we talk about tangent theta, we need to break it down into tangent theta is equal to sine theta over cos theta. In other words, your y over x. This is your y over x. Your y coordinate over your x coordinate. So I'm gonna take tangent 60 degrees, and let's see what's that angle. What value that is. So tangent 60 is over here. Tangent 60 degrees would be this divided by that. Okay? So I would have, so tangent 60 is equal to, my sine value is root 3 over 2. My cosine value is half. So if I multiply this by 2, multiply the top by 2, I'll get root 3. I'll just get root 3. Right? So my tangent 60 degrees is equal to root 3. Now let's look at, is this the same? Is this equal to tangent of, so 60 plus 180, that gives us 240. So tangent of 240, where is that? So 240 is over here. This is 240. The tangent again is my y divided by my x, right? So which means, oh wait, sorry, it's over here. This is the x and y coordinates. So I'll take root 3, so tangent of 240 is equal to my y, which is negative root 3 over 2 divided by negative half, which is equal to, the negative and the negative cancels out. I multiply by 2 to the top and bottom. Again, I'll get root 3. This is also equal to root 3. So again, we have just verified the third property. Now, these three properties are quite useful, and sometimes if you remember them, you will be able to solve questions a lot faster. I hope our knowledge on using reflections from the coordinates in the first quadrant, and that help us to find the coordinates in the other quadrants. I hope that skill will help you guys to remember these three properties a bit easier, because it really helps. Okay, it really helps. All right, feel free to rewind. There's a lot of stuff here. Sorry about the mess, but hope you guys find this video helpful, and I'll see ya. Bye bye.